Simon Foxton is a stylist whose collaborations with photographer Nick Knight were integral to the rise of ID magazine in the mid-1980s. Principally a menswear stylist, Foxton uses clothing to create an exaggerated version of reality by focusing on primary colors, bold prints, proportion, and volume. Nick Knight, whose use of saturated color, composition, and digital manipulation propelled him to the very heights of the fashion industry. Together, they created pictures that pushed men's fashion towards playfulness and peacockery. There is a humor to Foxton's approach, which was unusual within the realm of menswear at that time. He also used sartorial codes associated with masculine archetypes, looking to subcultures like mod, punk, and skinhead. Although most of their work focused on menswear, it was their covers, which always featured a woman and a wink, which really helped to define ID's sensibility at that time. The covers were sassy, bold, and fun. Let's have a look at their first four. Simon Foxton's very first cover was the December-January 1986 issue. It features a model by the name of Kate in a pair of optometrist glasses. It is a great example how Foxton appropriates items not intended for fashion, but are used in the name of style, and in this case, to create a striking image. Knight's saturated hues were enhanced by retouching Kate's eye, a deeper shade of sky blue. Their next cover, May 1986, was of androgynous model Alice Temple, her fresh features framed by the synthetic fleece of A. Parker's hood. Aside from modeling, she is an acclaimed musician. Knight's warm yellow tones make a wonderful contrast with the blue text. He was quoted as saying, "I was always intrigued by girls who looked like boys, always liked girls who looked like boys." Perhaps the most striking cover at that time was of French writer and model Anne Scott, wearing only her innumerable tattoos and a heart-shaped eye patch for the July 1986 cover. Occasionally, ID would use an accessory or the model's hand to cover one eye if the model's wink wasn't up to par. Here, the patch is the perfect complement to the tattoos, which were highly unusual in 1986, especially on women. But that's what made ID so great at the time. Of her time spent in London as a teenage model, Scott said, "You could just be anything." The fourth is of Amanda King for September 1986. King was the principal dancer with Michael Clarke at the time, and her shorn, bleach blonde locks were perfect for Clarke's avant-garde dance theater. It was also perfect for Foxton's suit and tie. Terry Jones, ID's founder and art director, added the blue and pink ink spots to the black and white image. He said, "Nick suggested the ruler, and afterwards we called it the education issue." It was images like this that warranted ID's tagline, "the indispensable document of fashion, style, and ideas." Foxton would become the magazine's fashion director, and he and Knight's fresh approach to style gave ID an exuberance which propelled the magazine forward. Together, they helped to establish a foundation where ID would become one of the best and brightest fashion magazines in the history of publishing.